What's up, Wagwan Etiseng, it's Lexi. Welcome back to my channel if you're not new, and if you're new here, welcome to our mid-year check-in. So I was thinking about the fact that June is coming to an end, and I just thought it'd be really nice that since we have now spent 6 months in 2024, it'd be really good to check in about how the last 6 months have been for both myself and for you guys. So naturally, this is an invitation for you to feel free to comment down below how your first 6 months of 2024 have been. Feel free to share any wins so we can all celebrate you and champion you in the comments, or any challenges so we can offer some encouragement. I just really want us to all have a really lovely chat, so I look forward to seeing some of the comments. I'll go first naturally since we are on my channel. When I think about this year, I definitely think about it from the start of January up until now. So I will look at it on a, I guess, 2 monthly basis to get to 6 months. So I would say January was definitely for me very challenging. I had just moved out of my flat and back home. Currently still in the process of flat hunting. If you watch the weekly vlog or the 20 something diaries, you may know that I'm back home, or if you've watched me for a long time, you will recognize that my backgrounds are different. But I realized that I mentioned it once and then maybe like never again, because I just thought everyone knew. So we didn't have much of a conversation around what it was like for me transitioning to being back at home. So January was quite a challenge because a lot of my stuff, like my clothes, my makeup, my tools, my equipment were just all over the place, and not physically but just, you know, like in storage. I don't know if you've ever tried to live without everything that you're used to having like readily available to hand, but it is really incredibly difficult. And I think for that reason I really struggled, especially in January because it was so fresh. I really struggled with not having access to everything that I naturally did have access to, and because my move out was quite abrupt, there wasn't really I guess much of a contingency plan in place for me to, like, you know, have everything readily available to me, and I just can't physically fit everything that I have at home. So yeah, that was really difficult. I found it challenging. I found transitioning back to like not being in my own space, I found that really difficult. And yeah, just trying not to be a burden when you're used to, like, I lived outside of home for 2 years, so it's just very different. So January was definitely a challenge. I also think a part that I didn't consider as much until just before I was about to move was how my relationships with my friends and with my partner had changed since I had been out of my house. Because obviously I was living like in my own flat, I had the opportunity to host my friends whenever I wanted to, and yeah, like my friends could really be at mine until 2 in the morning. That's very much an adult thing to do when you don't have your family physically around and you're not looking at so many different people's, I guess, work schedules and clocks and times they may need to wake up, which is just something that is not feasible when you live with your entire family. So that's another part of the transition that I found a little bit more challenging just to adjust back to, because obviously prior to moving out I did live at home, so I have lived like this before, but it was just different trying to, I guess, yeah, readjust really. So skipping to then March, I had gotten used to being at home by March, and it was really enlightening. March was the month that I had at this point started 75 soft, and I was doing that up until like Easter. I had a really interesting start and end to 75 soft. I actually did end up completing my 75 days, but because I didn't do it fully consistently day after day after day, I stopped my like daily check-ins and stuff with myself around day 52. So between day 52 and day 75, it all just kind of blurred into one. I didn't know what days I was on. I hadn't figured out whether or not I had done all my days, because there were some days that I had missed and then I caught up on them after the 75 days. So I ended up doing 75 days, but the last 20 or so days of the 75 were not consistent back to back, day after day, partly because of a knee injury and just life got in the way. But March was really enlightening because at the same time as doing 75 soft, I also set myself a challenge to post every single day on Instagram. So I posted a reel every day for 30 days or 31 days a month. I think I went up to day 35. And honestly, it was one of the most enlightening experiences that I ever had. And the reason for that was I think I just learned so much about consistency and resilience. I do fancy myself quite a resilient person, and all of my friends would say that I am resilient. But I think it's just something about setting your mind to something and actually completing it. It just eats. It just eats. So yeah, that was something I was really proud of, and it was really just, yeah, enlightening. Fast forward to June and I'm charged up. I don't know if you see me on TikTok, but if you haven't followed me on there, please go and follow me on TikTok and on Instagram. I post on both of those platforms daily, and it just means that you get more of me. So if you want more Lex, you should definitely follow me on my platforms where I post short form content. I am so charged up. I've got a battery in my back. I'm geeked in. I'm fired up. Like, that's where I'm at with creating specifically. When you accept within yourself that you are super passionate about something and you just kind of go in for it, that's where I am right now. So I'm posting daily, I'm sharing things, I'm trying, I'm putting myself out there, I'm attending events, I'm receiving my flowers small. So I just, yeah, I'm really enjoying creating at this current point in time. And also my boyfriend has been creating as well, which has been really nice to be a part of with him, from like supporting him in directing certain things and filming for him. And it's just given me the opportunity to fall in love with creating all over again. I fall in love with creating every time I like create for like a week straight. I'm like, time I learned this shit for real. Like, but just editing for other people. I've been managing other people's social media accounts and consulting a little bit in terms of what people should do with their pages, which has just been so nice. So I've just really enjoyed the creative steps that I've taken more recently. So yeah, June, I'm charged up. I can't wait for the rest of this year. So now that we've heard about me in that sense, I think it's important for me to share 6 lessons that I learned over the 6 months, specific lessons. They have titles, and yeah, I'll talk you through all of them. So lesson number 1, you cannot rush greatness. And when I say you can't rush greatness, I really mean it. Hey Siri, play Wizkid, Grace.
Ain't no fear on my race, run my race.
Steady, I take my lane, my
I said
lane.
run my race.
I feel that song so spiritually, because I think a lot of the time you're in such a hurry to get to where you're supposed to be, but you forget that there's such a beauty in getting there. My girl Tara always, I think one of her favorite quotes, I know it's one of her favorite quotes, is "The journey is a gift." And it really is. Every step that you take to get to where you're going, or to get to doing the things that you really want to do, those steps are part of your entire story. And it's so important to remember that you just can't rush greatness. You may want to skip to the good part, whether that's in your relationship or in your work life or just in your personal life, but darling, don't skip, because skipping means you don't get to enjoy the journey. No one's running your race, and sometimes while you're running, it's really important that you just take a look around and view the monuments. You're running past some really beautiful buildings and you're not even stopping to look. You want to be the kind of person who sees a beautiful tree and notices it, or who can really take in a sunset. And if you want to be that kind of person, you have to remember that you just cannot rush greatness. My favorite analogy around not rushing greatness is the understanding that good crops take time to harvest. It's biblical, like it's literally biblical. So plant your seeds and give them time. I'm not saying stand idly by, but I'm saying once you've done what needs to be done, give it time. Like, be prepared to wait on it, because that journey itself can be beautiful. Farmers, once they've planted their seeds, they do other things. So do something else while you wait for the harvest, because the harvest gonna be sweet, babe. Lesson number 2. No state is permanent. Obviously, disclaimer, that's besides death in the physical realm, that is permanent. But beyond that, no state is permanent. when I think about this, I just think how much you can get bogged down with the idea that like, oh, I'm doing all of this, I'm doing all of that, and I don't like this, I don't like that about your like current life. You're not gonna get stuck there. I think this song is from, oh, what song is it from? I think it's from Ring Off by Beyonce. I feel like this is where this is from. Beyonce's mum, Miss Tina Lawson, yeah, and I'm quoting her like she's a philosopher, but Miss Tina Lawson says, if you're going through it, just know that you're going through it. You're not gonna get stuck there. And that always sticks with me when I think about just the fact that you're not, like, no state is permanent. Things feel like the worst thing in the world when they're happening, but it's not. And if it is at that time, everything that you've experienced that you haven't enjoyed, or that you've wished you could come out of, or that you've wished would change in your life, you're no longer there now. Like, how many times have you thought something was so catastrophic and it's something that you now look back on and think, rah, man, that was a terrible time. Yeah, but guess what? The fact that you can look back on it means that you're out of it. It's such a privilege to understand that no state is permanent, because it helps you be hopeful for the future. A big example for this in my life, when I was at uni and I was studying, my God, I felt like it was going on for so long. I thought, I'm going to study till my dying day. Like, I'm going to die studying. Did I die? In fact, I could never have died. But like, it feels like that. It feels like this is never going to be done. Most things are finite in terms of how long they're going to last for. So yeah, no state is permanent, honey. You're not going to get stuck there. So if you're watching this and you're a student, you are going to finish that degree. You're going to finish it. You're either going to finish it because you completed it, or you're going to decide that it's no longer for you and you're going to stop. But guess what? You're not stuck there. That stay is not permanent. You're going to finish that degree. Lesson number 3, you have nothing to lose. And I'm talking to you. You literally have nothing to lose. What do you have to lose? I was listening to the Receipts podcast and Tolly was asking some questions. And one of the questions was, what would you do if you weren't scared? And some of the answers that I even thought of myself were just like so easy to do, things that you can actually actively do, but the things that you think about as direct barriers are the reasons why you're not making those decisions. But I'm here to tell you today, you have nothing to lose. Every single time that I've stepped out or gone out on a, what do they say, out on a limb? Is it out on a limb? Yeah, I think it's out on a limb. Every single time I've gone out on a limb or like, you know, done something that was a little bit risky, I've never lost. Now, why is that? Why is it that when you take a chance, even if it flops, like so, literally so. So if you want to learn a new skill, learn the skill. You have nothing to lose. It will never be a waste of time. It's just an experience. If you want to move to a different country, move. What do you have to lose? If it flops by everybody's worldly standards or people's ideas of what success looks like, guess what? You're still you, and God is still God. Flop or no flop. So yeah, you literally have nothing to lose. You don't lose unless it's something that directly takes you away from what you believe in. Then obviously you do lose your dignity / morals. But beyond that, honey, you got nothing to lose, babe. Just do it. Word to Nike. Not sponsored. Lesson number 4. I learned your comfort zone is the space between you and your dreams. This right here, your comfort zone, that is the space between you and your dreams. Close it. Shut it, please. Literally, Shanice, shut it, please. Challenges that fall outside of your comfort zone, the challenges that fall in this area that's outside of this little block where you feel so comfy and you feel so warm and you feel like everything is so great, those are the things that will help you develop. Those are the things that will teach you more about yourself, and those are the things that will help you close the gap between yourself and your dreams. That can be your dream life, that can be your dream partner, that can be your dream house, that can be your dream car. Push yourself outside of your comfort zone. And again, these are my lessons. So these are lessons that I have learned for myself, but I want you to take something away from this. Come out of that, close that gap, shut it, please. And you will find that your dreams are so much closer than you think they are. Because in truth, when things feel easy, It's because they are, babe. So if it's like, oh, this is so easy, yes, it is. So how can you try to push yourself? I'm not saying you should push yourself so far that you don't like what you're doing or you're doing things that you wouldn't respect, but a challenge is just that, a challenge. If something is challenging and it's not impossible and it's not detrimental, why not, babe? Lesson number 5 that I learned. You are exactly who you think you are. You're exactly who you think you are. You think you're a baddie, you're a baddie. You think you're the smartest person in your company. Yes, you are. You think you're a loser? That's what you're gonna be. So you are exactly who you say you are. I get my self-worth and my identity as a Christian, I get that from God, the Savior, Jesus Christ. So I am who God says I am, and I say I am who God says I am, and therefore I am who I say I am. If I say that I'm incredible, if I say that I'm intelligent, if I say that I'm successful, that's who I am, because you start to exude the energy that you believe you carry. So if you say that you're miserable, darling, yeah, you gon' be, unfortunately. So you are who you say you are, in the best and in the worst ways. Stand firm in what you believe about yourself, and God will perfect it. It's as simple as that. Stand firm in what you believe about yourself, and God will perfect it. And finally, lesson number 6, deal with things before they deal with you. Okay? I know I'm preaching to somebody. Deal with things before they deal with you. That chat with your mate that you're avoiding, that meeting with your boss, that nagging pain in your wrist, deal with it before it deals with you. You cannot be a passenger in your own life. Walk with God as an active participant in the life that you have. If you don't deal with it, it's gonna deal with you. If you don't have that conversation you've been dying to have, if you don't put yourself out there and explain to your boss how you've been feeling, if you don't check out that pain that you've been experiencing for an extended period of time, it doesn't just disappear. Just because you like brush something away, you know when they say like brush it under the carpet, when you lift up the carpet, the tin is still dirty. You can't just side things and hope that they disappear. They don't disappear. They come back, and sometimes they come back bigger, more monstrous, more cumbersome. They come back in a different form, and sometimes they come back exactly as they were. But if you had dealt with it, it wouldn't have to deal with you. Don't let life deal with you. When they say, if life is beating you, beat it back. Genuinely, beat it back. Deal with things before they deal with you. The more you address your concerns, the better control you have. And that's not over the outcome, but how you reckon with the outcome. You will have control over that if you deal with it first. So that's my advice. I hope my 6 lessons that I have personally learned over the past 6 months have been helpful for you. As I said, my 6 months has been somewhat turbulent, also really enlightening and enjoyable. I've had some really amazing moments, and when I reflect on it, it's been really, really lovely to be in 2024. I'm blessed to be here, and I'm blessed to be able to speak about my first 6 months, knowing and hoping that I'm able to see the next 6 months through. So my prayer and my hope for all of you guys is that you take something away from what I've learned, and if you resonate with it, even better. If you're yet to learn these lessons, I'm a big believer in sometimes someone else can learn the lesson for you. You don't always have to make your own mistakes. You can learn from mine. Learn from mine. As I said, I can't wait to catch up with you all in the comments. So comment down below and let me know if any of these lessons resonated with you, or if you learned some other lessons that you think would be useful for me. I'm always willing to hear what you all have to say. So yeah, comment that down below. If you made it this far, comment the little heart emoji just down below. Furthermore, it's been a really long time since I sat down and spoke to you all in this format. So if you enjoy the chatty video, then yeah, comment and let me know. I'm going to be doing it more often. I have so much to say. I'm not going to lie, I'm a yapper. So since I have so much to say, there will be more of this from me. But for now, it's been your girl, Lexa C, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.